Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here in The Sims 4. And we are back here building in Windenburg. I'm going to say it's probably one of my favourite worlds to build in. I think it's probably up there on like Henford and Bagley for me. I think it's probably more realistic to kind of where I live and kind of the builds that I like to produce. Talking of builds, this is actually on the 40 by 30 lot. It was originally, I believe, the summer house, like that one with the big road along the front. I've built there so many times. Anyhow, this build, oh boy. So, many months ago, I did my Georgian mansion. And pretty much straight after that, I started the next one in the historic sort of series collection of houses, mansions, builds we're working on. And I get to a point in every single build, and I do this in every single build, where I go, I don't like it. It's not gonna work, it's never gonna work, it's just... the self-doubt creeps in, I can't do it, it's too big, it's too complicated, it's not detailed enough, yada yada yada. It could be literally anything. Builder's block kicks in and eventually the build's just deleted. This build, I think this is version 3 or 4 of this build. I went through about 3 different eras of building. I try different styles, different kind of builds, just in general. I could not get this right. And then I found this. Well, this build was actually built, like the shell, how we started this was built probably about probably about 6 weeks ago. And I wanted this lot, and I was about to delete it, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try to finish the outside. I can just do it on camera, I'm just going to record it, I'm just going to do it, just the outside. I fell in love with this build. I had completely the opposite to what I normally have, so this build was going to go. I had plans to do something completely different on here, and at the last minute, I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to do a little bit more. And then I did the whole lot. So here is the finished build. This actually turns out to be a 5-bedroom, 7-bathroom mansion. Or manor house, they're the same thing. So yes, this is a pretty big build. Obviously it's not quite as big as like a 60 by 40, 64 by 64. Anyhow, in terms of what we actually get in here, it is huge. But I actually really like it for that. So you can sort of see here, I am just doing a little bit of box hedging. Some of it gets moved down and other topiary comes in and things, but this I kind of wanted to be like the formal kind of gardens that you would sort of see in and around a house like this. And so I tried to get it in there. It's obviously not really worth anything. Monetary wise, these hedges are ridiculously expensive, I will give you that. Because there is not a debug version of them, so they all do cost real money in this game, which is why this build is so ridiculously expensive. Anyway, for most of this exterior we are using the castle kit. I've kind of mellowed towards it, so anyone who didn't know, when the kit came out, I was fuming. It's probably a good word for it. I was not overly happy with it, and now I think I've kind of mellowed down into, well, you know, I just need to get on with it. So that's kind of what I'm liking. There are good points, there are some not so good points, but it works out pretty well for here. So I've kind of gone for a bit of a castle kind of theme along the bottom, and then with like the Tudory aspects along the sort of top and stuff, which is what you would normally find. You can kind of get these half and halves kind of builds, or you can have it maybe like all brick or just all timber, and that as well. Lots of windows. Now, windows in here aren't realistic for build this sort of, that they tend to just have one or two. I have gone quite a few. I tend to, in general, with my builds, for two real reasons. One, it lets in a lot of natural light. Two, if I have windows, it means I don't have to have artwork on the walls. The artwork in this game is very limited, so whenever I can opt for a window instead of a piece of artwork, I definitely have. That is not to say that there is never artwork in this build. There's plenty, and I have tried my best not to use the same piece twice. I don't think I succeeded in that, but you can be the judge, and then when you download this build, you can let me know. Anyway, there is a back portion to this as well, so I've kind of split this build so like the house is kind of in the middle. You kind of have like the formal gardens on one side, and then you're going to have kind of a little bit more of a private kind of space in the back. But as per usual with these big houses, I have cut some rooms, so I have cut all of the hallways out and the bathrooms. I felt like that was going to be the compromise I had to make. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised it only took me around about 4 hours. Now mind you, that is after I deleted actually doing the floor plan, the walls, the exterior. So from basically where we started today's build, that took me 4 hours in here. But yeah, this is the kitchen area in here. Now I really wanted to try and keep this as sort of realistic as I possibly could for an older build. Some things work, some things I really struggled to kind of incorporate that kind of modern necessities in with an older build. I feel like this one maybe is a little bit more sort of old school rather than the Georgian one, where I think I did it up quite a lot. Obviously there are things like toilets, and there are showers, and there are bathrooms, and obviously this kitchen has modern appliances in it. But I feel like it's kind of something there they've tried really hard to keep that old sort of look. Maybe it's like a protected building and they can't change certain things. Something along those lines. That's kind of what I'm just thinking in my head. And luckily enough, I was actually at a wedding in a castle not too long ago, so I went round during the reception afterwards, basically taking thousands of photos of literally everything. If I could get into a room, I was taking photos of it because I wanted so much inspiration for these kind of builds. So I have tried my best to keep it as incorporated as I possibly could, and yeah. I've tried my best, let's put it that way. Now, you can see some of the bathrooms in the background at this point. This one is the downstairs one. So there is a full bathroom just there by the entrance, and then there is like a half bath with just like a toilet and a sink in further in here. But this was a very big build. I managed to pack in quite a bit. When I say there are 5 bedrooms, there are 5 huge bedrooms. They all could be double bedrooms. I did put in a twin room in because I was just so fed up of doing main big bedrooms. But I have also done all of the bedrooms are en suite, and then obviously there are the 2 bathrooms downstairs. So yeah, I feel like it's a very playable house. You can kind of like pick and choose whatever you want. It's obviously not a family home. It's a home. When I was playtesting this and I kind of created a family for this, I just had 2 Sims. I just kind of created some elder Sims who maybe it's like the ancestral home or something like that, and they just live here. Maybe it's like a country mansion and that they live most of the time in the city. and they just come out on the weekends, something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking in my head when I was kind of creating the sort of very rich, kind of older people who would live here. And I think it's worked out pretty well. Maybe they open it up to tours and things like that. That's kind of what I was thinking when we were coming into this house. Now, I didn't particularly like the white in here. It just didn't really work with that kind of old look. So I do, in fact, change everything over to this black, which I think works in here really kind of nicely. And then we get in some curtains and bits and pieces. I also had a table in here. They kind of gave me the idea that maybe it's like a breakfast table, or maybe they have like a chef that kind of comes with them, and like in between sort of meals, maybe doing like some prep work or something, they could kind of sit here while something's cooking. They could read a book or do something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking in here. Now this is the dining room in here. This is very dark. This actually has spotlights in it. But because of where it is on the lot, it's also very dark, and I've used the dark wood sort of wallpaper paneling in here, dark floors, dark ceiling. I did actually remember to paint the ceiling. You're proud of me, yes. It's normally the thing I forget now. Actually saying that, I have just remembered I have forgotten light switches, and I made a purpose decision not to put radiators in because they didn't have radiators. That's the decision I made there. Anyhow, this in here, I love that sort of pop of orange on the table. I think it just brings so much in here, and then I do try to bring in a few little pops here and there of sort of colour. So you'll notice when we were working out on the front formal garden, those big sort of urns of plants from my wooden toys, they have like that red and sort of orange. I kind of wanted to bring that in quite a bit, so you'll sort of see that in several little rooms, that they're either the same plants or the same sort of flowers kind of coming through. And obviously with it being a Tudor house, we kind of have to have roses, so there's lots of roses in the formal garden. I kind of line them all up around the outside, and then also kind of in some of the low level kind of informal planting around here, I do also have some red wild roses. I think they came with Cottage Living. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I think they are from that pack in there. So I have kind of dotted in some of the sort of Tudor roses as well into here. But this sort of leads out into the back garden area in here. Now I am using some things from the new kit. So we have this new Arboretum kind of Pogonia sort of thing, which I absolutely love. I love this sort of, it's kind of like brushed kind of gold, maybe a copper kind of one in here, and I just put another table on it. And then because I was using that kit, I thought I need to use a few more things from here, so I also pulled out some sun loungers. I don't necessarily know how realistic it really would be, but maybe the person who lives here likes to sunbathe, maybe the children, grandchildren, whatever, have bought them and they've just left them all out. So that's kind of what I was thinking in here. Now this is the library. Yes. We basically have 3 rooms in here, which I would normally put into one. But I was looking at the floor plan and I just kind of went, do I have ground floor bedrooms? Doesn't really work. What do I do in here? Do we have a sitting room? Do we have a TV room? Do we have, what do we do? So in the end we went for a library, a hobby room and an office. Because why not? Why not? So yes, this is the first of the 3 that we're doing in here. Lots of sort of tall bookshelves, couple of seating sort of options in here for you to come in, read a book, just maybe have that sort of private kind of quiet space. Maybe you want to have like an informal meeting, something kind of along those lines. And then in here we go for a sort of hobby room. So we have a chessboard, we have a piano in here. Now we only have like the standing sort of piano, this little one here. We do have the grand piano that is actually in the entrance turret, so you can play that if you really wanted to. But we also have a little bar in here as well. It's nothing fancy, it's not a very big room, I've got to be honest. I could have kind of combined the 2 rooms together, but yeah, I didn't. I kind of kept it as keeping to the floor plan as I possibly could. But this then here is the office in here. Now I thought maybe the person who owns this, maybe they own several businesses, they're important, they've got a lot of money, hence how they can kind of afford the upkeep of this huge build. I would not like to know what your bills and rent and stuff are for this, because it is huge. Into here. But this is the office space, so double desks in here, because I struggled to get the amount of clutter that I wanted onto one desk. So because I kind of looked at it and thought, well, you would have more than one monitor, but I can't get 2 computers in here, so I kind of used the small little TV screen and put that on the desk as well, and kind of moved that and did bits and pieces with that to kind of get that in, so it looks like it could be a second monitor, because I feel like you would need one. I've done it on a couple of other builds as well, but it just adds a nice little touch of kind of real life into these kind of builds, and a few bits and pieces. Lots of the crystal creations, kind of the jewelry sets in here as well. I've kind of used some of their decorations throughout this kind of build. I feel like it's kind of very simple, and yet it kind of has like that look that it could be really old, but it also could be like it's repurposed. Maybe it's like it can be new, but it can also be really old. So that's kind of what I was thinking going for in here. And then I wanted to use this white. Now the swatches don't quite line up, and I would really wish the Sims team would go through and say, okay, this is our white swatch, this is our black swatch, this is our dark wood swatch, this is our light wood swatch, this is red, this is blue. Just come up with like one colour and kind of just go for it. Like some things, yeah, you can go for a darker red or a darker blue or whatever, but for your main base colours, can we say like there's just one option? Because there is furniture that should go together, and it really does stylely, it just doesn't match colour wise, and it was so infuriating. So in the end we have gone for a complete contrast of the white hallway table and the bookshelves in the sort of office space. Really it doesn't work, but I think because it is that such a big contrast, I think I can get away with it. I'm hoping I can. Anyhow, this is the living room in here. Now, I do actually get a TV in here. So as I say, we have updated it for modern convenience in here. But this really was a huge room, and I really struggled. And images and Google were definitely my friend when doing some of the interior here, because you have a look at like formal houses that are open to the public. They don't have TVs in the rooms, because like the apartments where people live are sort of, you don't go and see. So for me it was quite difficult to try and work out where I get furniture in, how it all works, that sort of thing. But in here we kind of have this huge big fireplace, which I think really dominates the entire space, and then we kind of fit everything around it. So there is huge space in this build that I just miss out, because there's nothing really that could go in there. So you have sort of the TV in like the middle of the room, but I think that's realistic for a build this big. It wouldn't be pinned to a wall, it wouldn't be kind of so tucked away sort of thing. So I did want it kind of in the middle here. We do also have another bar in, because, you know, why not? Why not indeed. We also get a couple of bar stools in here as well. Now the bar stools are not actually connected to the bar, so your Sims may kind of have a little bit of difficulty working that out, but there is also the other bar in the sort of study room, kind of skills room as well, so they can always use that one. Now this is what I'm calling the main bedroom. It's probably maybe not quite the biggest room, but it has the biggest bathroom. So in this whole turret is kind of dedicated to their bathroom. This is kind of above the front door to kind of give you some sort of concept. They also have a little balcony out here. There's nothing on the balcony. There really wasn't room for anything. It's just like a one tile kind of wide kind of build out there. And yeah, in the bathroom we get a shower, we have a bath, and yeah, it's a really nice sort of space. And getting in lots of that sort of red colourings that we use for everything, and me getting so frustrated with all here because I can't get the right measurements right. Anyhow, lots of vampire coming in. I was sort of talking earlier about the packs we used. Lots of vampire, lots of get together, obviously. Strangely enough, cats and dogs was also quite a big pack in here. As well, it was used for lots of things, and then also high school. Some of the colour variants and the options we had for that worked really well. So you can sort of see the kind of sort of mid-century kind of wallpaper I used in this bathroom. Actually, high school, but it works. So I basically put into Google, come up with some old kind of bedrooms and like Tudor houses and stuff. And then this is basically what it was giving me. So each one of these is kind of a different build, or different room from a different house somewhere in the UK. I'm not going to tell you where because I honestly don't know. I literally was just pulling up images of sort of inspiration and trying to recreate them as best I possibly could, given my furniture and space limitations. So yes, this is probably the second biggest of the rooms. This actually has a desk in it. I don't put another computer in here because I feel like maybe that's a little too much in here. So using lots more of the Crystal Creations pack in here as well. Getting lots of sort of seating, a desk space. So you can kind of use this build or this room for lots of different things. Maybe you can also let this out as a hotel, maybe, because obviously all of the rooms are en suite and it would be a really nice place to go. I don't know what's coming pack wise, maybe possibly in the future it would work, I don't know. But yeah, I could kind of see like this being sort of like a hotel. If it was like a real kind of build in the UK, I feel like you would maybe like have it as like a B&B, something like that, or for like a big group for like a wedding or a big kind of family gathering. I would imagine Christmas in this kind of build is amazing. Anyhow, I'm going way off point here. Anyhow, so yes, a little bit of clutter coming in here. I feel like maybe this was a home where they had like grown-up children and they came from time to time and they each had like a bedroom. Maybe it was like their childhood bedroom that's just been over time added to, and maybe like their single kids beds have been upgraded to like doubles or king size beds, whatever, and it's kind of grown with them. I feel like that was kind of what I really wanted in here. So this could be like the oldest kind of kid room in here. I didn't really keep to any sort of stereotypical kind of these are overly feminine rooms, these are very masculine. I just kind of kept it very kind of simple so anybody can kind of go into any rooms. Some of them are blue, but that doesn't really matter too much. And then me's getting in, this is the third biggest. This is probably around about the same sort of ties in there, but this is the kind of third bedroom that we're working on here at the back of the property. I love the fact that we can actually change these mirrors around because it fits so much better that way than it does portrait. Anyway, I was trying to get in this little mirror piece here as well because I'm not entirely sure that the mirrors that way would work. So I just wanted to give you another kind of option. But then I used a shelving piece that doesn't actually work as a mirror. Why? I don't know. Because obviously Tiny Living gave us the option for having like multi-purpose sort of items. Whether it be like a TV that's also a stereo, that like a sofa that's also a bed. Why this shelving unit can't also be a mirror? I don't know. There's also a dresser from Cottage Living that has a mirror on it, but it looks like it's a mirror. It appears it's a mirror, but you can't use it as a mirror. It's just one of those stupid little things. And there's also a wardrobe, I think, from another pack that has a mirror on the front of it, but why we can't use them as multi-purpose. Anyway, I feel like I have been properly ranting for today's build. I promise I'm not normally like this. Or maybe I am. Anyway, this room in here has a big 4-poster bed, and then obviously getting in the roses as well was a big feature in here. There are 2 staircases, so you could just sort of see the handrail coming up in here. I've kind of lovingly hidden it behind a wardrobe, but there is a staircase coming out. It's just outside the living room in the hallway, so you can kind of just pop up the stairs that way instead of going all the way over to the other sort of side of the house to go up the stairs that way. It made a little bit more sense in there. Maybe it's like a back staircase. I don't know, that's been sort of opened up. I don't know how you want to play this with this sort of build in here. Then this is, I'm gonna say, it's probably the smallest bedroom. I still do get in a double bed in here, but I feel like space-wise this is quite a small room. And at this point I was struggling to find different kind of furniture to make all these rooms kind of unique. So instead of sort of side tables, end tables, whatever you want to call them, bedside tables, I go for these mirrored kind of shelves. I absolutely love them. I would love them to actually work properly, as I was just saying, but we kind of get them in here as sort of side pieces to the bed. Now this is the one where I thought I need to have kind of maybe kids' rooms in here. It feels too grown up, so I go for 2 single beds. And yeah, I originally wanted it red because obviously Tudor rose usually are red, but in the end we kind of I fell in love with these green beds. Okay, so the green beds basically meant that the wallpaper had to be green, which meant I kind of had to go down that sort of tangent to kind of fit in there, because the red swatches just weren't really any good. Anyway, this is the only bathroom that doesn't have a shower. So some of them have like bath shower combos. This is the only one that has a bath in it. Also the bathroom just below that has a bath in it as well. But I feel like all of the en-suites kind of had showers options in there. But we're very quickly coming to the end of this video. I have been ranting for most of it, so I apologise for that. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, then please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. You can also subscribe to my channel or find me on any socials. But until next time, bye everyone!